Hi, hello everyone. Hello Facebook, hello Periscope, hello YouTube, hello Twitter. It is Thursday evening and it is 6:07 p.m. and we're having a very special episode here tonight. And let's just call this Conversations with LaQuita. We have our very special guest here, and it's not her first time being a guest on our show. She's actually been back numerous times, but because she is such an amazing guest, a wonderful person, and she has so much value to give, we're going to keep having Miss Lynn DelGaudio come back as often as she wants to come. And tonight she's going to introduce herself to those who this may be their first time meeting her, and reintroducing herself to those who love the value that she gives, and they're coming back on to watch us tonight. But Miss DelGaudio, tonight she's going to talk to us about an amazing event that she's put together and I will say this, for such a time as this. And because I know her, I can absolutely 100% assure you that this event is pre-COVID. COVID is just highlighting why an event like this is needed, So again, we're going to give everyone a chance to come on across Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitter. Again, like and share this broadcast. Get on and start your watch parties, because this is some information that you don't want to miss. It's very relevant to right now, and it can be actually some life-changing things that you're going to learn here tonight. Hi, Lynn. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good. Try not to burn up it's hot.
well, where you are, it is. I'm in North Carolina. It's unseasonably cool right now, so I've got a scarf just in case I got to wrap it around my neck.
I'll tell you, Texas is warm today. Texas was warm yesterday, and it's supposed to be warm tomorrow. So, but go ahead, Lynn, if you could. Give us a brief about who you are, and then we're going to jump right into your Immunity Summit information.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm Lynn DelGaudio. I am a recovering banker and corporate professional turned coach, author, and speaker. And I've always had this fascination with wellness kind of on the side of my career, and I started transitioning as of 2017. I was transitioning into the coaching full time. And I had back in 14, LaQuita, I had a traumatic brain injury, and I won't go into that, but through the healing through that injury was so incredibly transformative and just catapulted me into this other space and kind of like into a new personality almost. And I became very fascinated with the mind. So I've always had this fascination with the mind and what I call the mind style and healthy lifestyle. I do a lot because I've suffered from autoimmune disease myself in the past and healed through it after, I don't know how many doctors and thousands of dollars, but finally found a functional medicine person to help me through a mindfulness program and a lot of lifestyle changes, healed myself naturally through that. So my colleague Emily and I, we've got an autoimmune program, coaching program for those who are suffering through autoimmune disease. And several months ago, I said, let's do what's the other side of this coin. It's at the crux of an autoimmune disorder is really an overreactive immune system. So let's do something about how can we improve our immune system, kind of look at it from a different angle. So several months ago, I started just kind of floating this idea to a couple people in the medical community. What do you think about maybe doing a summit or something? And we got some interest, and there was actually quite a bit of interest. And then coronavirus hit. And I knew, wow, we got to get this out. Normally it would take several months to put one of these together, and we got this out within 8 weeks. So right now it's available. Well, I'll get into how you get there later, but it's available right now. It's a free summit that you can, and you get a bunch of freebies just for signing up. There's 10 speakers over a 12-day period. And then if you buy what we call the all access pass, you get all those taped interviews, you get the initial freebies, and then you get a whole array of additional materials and resources, etc. So that's coming up. The official launch is the 27th, and I could not be happier and more excited about it. These speakers are amazing.
So, when I remember, like you said, months back, and we were discussing that you were thinking about putting this together and you were working on this project. And I know that you're very passionate about it. And it is definitely something that we all need to know, because the answer to everything that we deal with is not pharmaceutical. I'm not saying that there's not an appropriate time and place for prescription drugs, because there is an appropriate time and place for prescription drugs. But through personal experience of my own and through family members, prescription drugs often lead to bigger issues when things aren't going properly. And I can say that because there was a time when my grandmother was so sick, and I just knew with everything in me, I just discerned that it was the level of medications that she was taking. Her doctor kept prescribing her prescription after prescription after prescription, and each prescription was for the side effect of the next prescription, when all she had was GERD. That's all she had. And she was on over 10 different medications. And, just talking, I have some wonderful friends in the medical community and always giving me great advice. And finally, I believe that it was the Lord's intervention. That doctor had to leave. And she was placed with a different doctor who takes a more holistic approach. And in that time frame, in less than 6 months, he immediately took her off of the majority of the medications, and her weight gain came back. She didn't think that she was going to die, because literally at this point, it was like, my grandma's not going to make it, and there's nothing I can do. And it was all because of prescription drugs. She's off of the prescription drugs, and she is herself, and our family couldn't be happier. It's like, Jesus, if you could let this doctor live until you return, I will be quite all right. And it's what you said about her immunity and different things she needed to continue to do. She already lived a healthy lifestyle, but there were certain things she needed to increase and do more of to help with the GERD, to not have it. GERD, it's acid reflux. People, can they take prescriptions for it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you need 10 to 15? No. And that's why I'm so excited to hear you put something like this together, because so many people have so much faith in pharmaceuticals that they don't give enough awareness to healthy living and healthy eating.
And it's no surprise, because on all the commercials, which is probably 50% of the airtime or commercial time, is pharmaceutical ads, right? And they're like instilling fear in you, and it's all that's the model. It's fear, uncertainty, and doubt, right? And you get to that primal fear. But all those, they've got the soft music playing, and they're like, oh, take this, but you might get the side effect, it might cause death, and if you take this, you might eat other drugs, and all these other like 25 side effects, even death, and you're like, wait, what? The thing that really, really got me going on wanting to get this out fast is because when the media started, with their Corona show, I don't want to call it a Corona show, because it's a nasty virus. Let's not. But I don't like the way it's being portrayed with just the fear. We'll get to that later. But I didn't see anyone talking about zinc or selenium. Or mushrooms, or rest, or hydration, and everyone's talking about just, we got to get a vaccine. What can we do now to help boost and support and balance our own immunity, especially because a lot of the people at risk are those with other ailments or some autoimmune condition? And I had said to you at some point earlier that I think what we're really going to find out during this pandemic is that we are even more compromised than we even realized.
I do agree. And I don't know, again, this is my personal opinion. I preface this, people, it's my personal opinion. Living in the United States of America my whole life. Well, no, not my whole life. I lived outside, but I am an American. We live in a society where healthcare is not something that is the constitutional right of every American. We're told that it is, but it's not, because every American does not have access to the healthcare that they need. So there's no way that the statement that you just said could be wrong, because the vast majority of average Americans, low income, middle income, especially lower and middle income people, do not have access to the type of care that they need because of finances. They can't afford to have the care. So how would they know if they have certain issues if they can't get to the doctor in order to get the tests and the exams done that could tell them that?
Yeah. And now a lot of these people who do have issues, they're not going to the hospitals, or they're afraid to go to the hospitals. And, we talk about all this collateral damage with the economy collapsing. There's the estimates of how many people will die, not from the virus, but from the fear and all the other, people having cancers that are going to be missed. Maybe they estimate 80,000 might die, another 70 to 80,000 in suicides, hundreds of thousands in alcohol-related deaths or domestic violence or heart attacks or, starvation. I mean, so the collateral, they're saying, what was the estimate? I think for every 30 to 50,000 people will die for every 1% increase in unemployment. So if you've got 20 to 30% unemployment, that's over 1 million people.
That's over 1 million people. That's over 1 million. And this is not from the disease. So if you're just joining us, thank you guys so much for those aren't the numbers from the disease, from the virus. Those are the effects of the virus, we'll say trickle down, right? Those are the trickle down effects, different things that are happening that are negative that will cause people to die as a result of what's happening with the COVID situation. The unemployment rate leads to people not having enough money. People don't have enough money, so you can't get the food that you need. You can't keep your lights on. You can't keep your water on. You can't keep all of these things on that you naturally need to survive. And our country is not providing us. And that argument is an argument for another day. Can our country provide us with the financial resources to sustain it, or can it not? I am of the opinion that they can do what they want to do if they want to do it. If you've given billions of dollars of bailout to billion-dollar industries, you could have gave those billions of dollars to the average American citizen. But I digress from that for a moment because we're talking about immunity today.
There's a lot of what you were describing, and you can't pay your bills, and you've got to, and the stress that people are experiencing, and the fear that people are experiencing, and that is another virus, like for me, because what the fear and the stress does, it shuts down your immune system, so that your immune system can conserve energy so you can go fight that threat. And so it's it's really important that we stay, and the summit talks about tools to help manage where our attention goes, right? We really have to pay attention to where we place our attention. So using thought, we have one speaker that talks about the biology of our thinking and biology of belief and what happens in the body, what the chemical reactions are, but what happens where, using your thinking as an active agent for change. Very possible. Very possible.
Very possible. You're absolutely right. I don't for one moment think that the virus isn't it isn't serious. I absolutely believe that it is serious. Through personal experience, we've had some people that are very close to us to contract COVID, and we are very thankful and we praise God that they survived and they overcame COVID despite having immune compromised systems, that they were able to overcome it. So I do know that it is something that is quite serious, but I also know, and I totally agree with what you're saying in terms of it is important for us to learn what we can do holistically to help ourselves. Don't wait on a vaccine that, according to the current data, probably has a high probability of killing you. I'm just going to put that out there. It's not a secret.
Google
it has a higher probability of killing you than helping you. So what can we do that will have a high probability of giving our body the boost in immunity so that it can do what God created it to do, heal itself? fight disease and sickness, because that's what it's created to do. That's how we're designed. And I'm really thankful that you guys are putting this out there, because there's so much fear tactics that's out, and there's not enough. Hey, listen, I know this is a serious situation, but this is what you can do. These are the steps that you can take, other than buy up all the hand sanitizer in the world, because that's not going to
toilet paper.
Toilet paper. But this is what you can actually do that's going to benefit you and your household greatly. So talk to us some more about some of the other things that the Immunity Summit is going to offer. And again, let us know, for those that have just joined us across Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, Twitter, thank you guys for joining us. We're having an amazing conversation today about the Immunity Summit. Miss Lynn DelGaudio is the brains behind this amazing project. She's going to share with us how that we can become a part of the project, and to go out and listen to the speakers and glean some information that can definitely help you, not just because of COVID, but that can help you with everyday situations that don't have to be normal.
This was actually born out of the whole autoimmune thing, because I had suffered from autoimmune, and there's millions and millions of people. You've got family members. That's kind of how it all came to about. And then the corona hit. So we called it Immunity Blueprints Summit, and you can go to immunityblueprints.com and learn more about the summit and the speakers. And blueprints, because we are all unique individuals. And so there's going to be a different blueprint for each person. So what I might do for my own immune function may not be what you choose to do for yours. So there's so many options, and it's going to be based on your individuality. So that's kind of how we came up with that. And I have to say thank you for the compliment, but I am not the brains behind it. I am, the like project manager, I guess. So the experts that we have speaking, they are highly credentialed experts in their field from across the U.S. and Canada. And that we're going to have a follow-up to this, and we're going to do another one on stress several months down, which will be for experts around the world. But so we will talk about things that people may be aware of, such as nutrition. And we were talking earlier, some of these things we know we should do, but we just maybe now coronavirus will highlight the true value and why we need to do this, why and how simple it is, really. So things like getting your vitamins and getting the right supplements, and in what form. So, for instance, vitamin C, you want to get that in the right form and in the right dosage. D, you can get through sunlight, but you should probably have, and we'll talk about what's safe and what's not, again, from these experts, not me, but selenium and what selenium does, zinc, very good hydration, staying hydration, rest, so important. We recover when we're asleep. Our bodies are recovering, our organs are recovering. There are certain things, cells that are released that fight inflammation. So it's really critical, and specifically infection. But we also talk about things that maybe people won't be so familiar with. So for instance, we have someone one guy in particular, and then another doctor talks a little bit about the amazingly miraculous, intelligent world of adaptogens. And if you don't know what adaptogens are, that's a subset of the plant world. And Dr. Michael Fleischer spent 7 years in, I can't remember which rainforest, because there's a few, but in the rainforest studying the medicinal properties of these plants. And you can use the whole plant. And he tells us this, and there's a number of them that he'll discuss in singular form and blends, but they're not at all, there's no harm at all there's not toxic. You can't overdose from adaptogens. They're perfectly balanced in the body. But he tells a story about this one plant, because sometimes they'll mimic their actions, and the behavior of a plant will mimic what they do in the body. So there's this one plant. Here's a little teaser. Sorry, Mike, if I'm not supposed to say this. In Ukiyalu River or something in the Amazon lower basin. Sorry about that. I just dropped my notes. It's called the Iporuru tree. And when there's a monsoon, the tree's above the water, but the roots are below, and they have like this circumventilation kind of underneath the water. It's like swirling, what does he call it? Circumambulation. And so what is that herb good for? Your circulation.
Wow.
So adaptogens is a really fascinating discussion. We've got Dr. Salibi who gives a history of immunology going back to 500 BCE, which is not before Corona era. It's just a really long time ago.
I like that.
Yeah, and he goes into the intricacies of this one system in our body, this one immune system, how intricate it is. And when you hear his story, it will blow your mind, the work that this one system in our body is doing for us. We've got someone that talks about, she's a holistic psychiatrist. I didn't even know that
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
And she's all about what is going on in your immune system. What is happening in the gut? Do you have a leaky gut? Do you have a leaky brain? Is there some sort of imbalance in the brain connection? What is happening in your immune system that is causing inflammation and contributing to this depression or anxiety? And so, she's not necessarily people's first choice. They've been to other doctors and conventional psychiatrists and maybe have been put on some pharmaceutical drugs. And then they go to her and say, I need to get to the root cause of this. Mm-hmm. We have a functional medicine doctor who's kind of like a medical detective, and they are so holistic and so thorough.
So you have the real life Dr. House?
Uh-huh.
You have the real life Dr. House?
Really? Yeah. And we've got a naturopath that and again, she talks about from a naturopathic. She goes into some mitochondria and ATP and brings you back to 10th grade biology a little bit, and herbs. We do talk a little bit here and there. A few of these people talk about herbs. We've got someone talking about 5G, wireless technology. And there's a lot of stuff out there. Oh, does 5G cause coronavirus? No. No one is saying that. So clear about that. It's not true. It does not cause a virus. But the 5G and wireless technology actually has like a proliferation. It replicates within the body. And I could get really specific, but I don't want to. You can listen to the summit. But it's very real. There's been over 2,000 studies that show that it causes cancers, the radiation technology. But what we talk about is how, and in fact, in Wuhan, China, just before the outbreak, they had just installed 10,000 5G stations.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of cellular replication, viral replication. And so she will talk to Cece Doucette, will talk to us about how can we use, because we're not getting rid of our technology. We want our technology. How can we use it in a safe way? Mm-hmm. I will tell you that I used to be one of those people that put my cell phone next to the bed because that was my alarm in the morning, put it on the nightstand, and that was my alarm. When I started putting it on Wi-Fi, and then I just said, I'm getting an alarm clock. The old one, but we used to all have bright numbers, right?
Right.
I have never slept so soundly in years. Slept soundly, and my pain was reduced quite a bit. That one change. And my colleague, Emily, who's co-hosting with me, she's the co-moderator. I didn't even know. We didn't know we were trying these things at the same time and had very similar responses. So really powerful stuff. So that's going to be a fascinating. Hers is a 2-day discussion. Rob Scott, the biology of belief. Where do you want to place your attention? How is that impacting your immunity or your thinking? And it's hard. It's really important to be very cognizant of, even if you're in the kitchen doing dishes and you've got I call it the CVNN, the Coronavirus News Network. You've got that on in the background. It is going into the program. You're getting the message in there. Even if you don't realize it, it's going in there. And they know that. They don't call it TV programming for no reason. Right?
Say that again, ma'am. Say that.
They don't call it TV programming for no reason.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
There's a program and they want you to be programmed. Let's see. Let me just quickly go through some of these. Shiva Golzadeh. Oh my gosh. You got this. She has she's from Canada, an amazing story of how she got on her path. And I won't even go there. You got to listen. But she and a lot of these people have traumas that they've been through, or some sort of life event that just like, boom, propelled them in a different direction. She's one of them. She talks about lithotherapy. I didn't even know what that was, but it's healing through crystals. She also goes into intentional breath work and how that can help our immunity, and meditation. Who else? We've got, epigenetics. So how does food and how influence our gene expression and our immunity? And, just because there's something in your DNA, it does not mean you are destined to get that. That was a theory in the 50s, never proven scientifically. We've known this for about 40, 50 years now, but won't come out in the textbooks, but a whole nother discussion. How do we so we genomic medicine, nutrition. I think I've covered just about everyone, and if I missed, I think one person, I don't think I did, but so it's great, well-rounded, so many lenses to peer through.
So one more time for those that may be just joining us, give us the website again.
Yeah, it's www.immunityblueprints, plural, immunityblueprints.com. And then we actually, Cece also talks about grounding, just going out and putting your, like, walking on the grass with bare feet, or not rubber soles because the electrons from the earth can't come up through, but connecting with the earth is really, really good for our overall healing and our immunity. She talks about that. Even touching a leaf on a tree will ground you, or even if you're outside with your dog, petting your dog will ground you because they're on the ground too. Very, very healing. Another healing modality. What else can I tell you? So excited. And the thing is, this is not, like you said, this is not at all about coronavirus. We will talk about coronavirus from time to time just because the era we're in. It is not about fear mongering. Our goal is to inform, inspire, and empower people so they know that, I've got control. There are things that I can do right now, starting today, and I can feel better in doing so. And I can really take control of my own health because, like you said, we don't have healthcare. We have disease management. Mm-hmm. I want to move far away from that model.
Yeah, absolutely. As I was saying at the top of the broadcast, I happen to know personally that Lynn was working on this project, putting this project together well before the pandemic became a thing, a big thing in our country. Let me say that. Because it was already a thing in other countries, but that's another topic for another day. So before it became a big thing in our country, Lynn was already working with the team of experts that she's talking about and bringing this together because we as a country have to be more informed about our immune systems, how they work, and what we can do holistically in order to build them up, so that they can maintain at a healthy place, so that our bodies can do the things that they were naturally designed to do, which is one, be healthy, yes. And in the event that our body is attacked by some type of sickness or disease, it is supposed to be able to fight that and heal itself without having prescription medication. Again, this is not a conversation about the evils of prescription drugs, because we fully realize some prescriptions are necessary, but your whole life and your health cannot depend upon prescription after prescription after prescription. Wherever you are in your belief system, we believe that everything that God has given us in this earth is for a reason. Even going back to the doctor that studied in the rainforest and found out all of this information, wonderful information about plants. I will say that's not a new secret. Where do you think the pharmaceutical industry came from?
Yeah, they just study these plants. They isolate the molecules and then create a synthetic something or other.
Yeah, absolutely. And that could be a whole nother conversation on why do you think the destruction of the rainforest is happening so rapidly now? Because people are becoming more aware of the things that they were aware of hundreds of years ago. We're coming back to it, and Big Pharma can't let you heal yourself because sickness is money. Wellness is not.
big pharma cannot patent anything natural. You can't patent anything natural. So the coronavirus, I don't know if you know, but there's a patent on the coronavirus.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, November 2019, Bright, which is owned by Bill and Melinda Gates, patented the virus. So that's a whole nother discussion. But so
we'll have to talk about that later, Lynn. Like, only we want to have that conversation.
Yeah, you can look it up. It's right out there. Yeah. But
patent the coronavirus in November 2019.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, people, get on, as my mama would say, your telephone. Google that. Let's have a conversation about that. I want to see some commentary on this throughout the course of the week. How can you patent a disease?
Well, because
come up with the cure?
So here's what I was getting at. You can't patent a plant. It's natural. It's in its form, right? So the pharmaceutical companies, they study these plants and then they, isolate and create whatever they're going to create. And now it's modified and now it's manipulated and now it's synthetic. Now they can patent that. So the coronavirus isn't in its natural form because it's been modified. So that's patentable. And so if you look it up and you click on, it comes up here, Bright. That's the company name. But then when you look into who's that? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you got to come back. We have to have this more conversations about this. Oh man, this has been a great show this evening. Thank you so much for sharing this amazing information to us. It's adding tons of value, for those of us who were already on a holistic journey. This is just empowering and gives us further information and further confirmation that we are on the right journey. And for those who may not have been on that journey and been skeptical, get to the Immunity Blueprints Conference. You need to be at the Immunity Blueprints Conference.
Let me just add one more thing too, because I mentioned if you do, it is a free summit, but if you do buy what we call the All Access Pass, I mean, you get all those freebies just for registering, but if you get the pass, you get all of those tape recording discussions, plus a whole bunch more materials and resources and ebooks and discounts and yada, yada. But there's also, about a week after the summit ends, there's a live Q&A with all of these experts. So while you're watching these, you can take in your notes, you're going to have direct access to them and you can ask them your questions personally.
Awesome. So not only is the Immunity Blueprints Conference something that we need, but it's free. FREE, free. They're giving you information that you need, your family needs, heck, the nation needs, and it's free. These are experts, leading experts who, let me just say free. Okay, let's reemphasize free. And if you decide to pay to have access to all of this and to be a part of the Q&A discussion, I would highly recommend that you do that. I know that's what I want to do because I'm going to have questions and you want these questions answered by those industry experts, then go ahead and do it. But if you're saying, okay, you know what, LaQuita, I want the information, but COVID has impacted me and my coins. I get that. I understand it. You still have access to the information because it's free. You can't ask for more. You cannot ask for more. Lynn, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know that our time is spent. You have another appointment you have to get to, and I do as well. Please, one more time, if you have one last thing to say before we go.
Yes, I do. Please. I want everyone to love each other. I can't even, I know that sounds, love right now is so important. And when we are in a state of love and compassion for one another, that negates like 100 or more other people that are in that fear and that negativity. It's very easy to go there right now with all the messaging we're getting, but really just try not to stay in that fear. Know that you have the power, and we really all need to be there for everyone all around the world right now. So that would be my closing remark. Please just love each other and stay in compassion.
Awesome. That is well said, and that is definitely a true statement. Well, Lynn, we're going to go ahead and let you go. It's been an awesome conversation. Thank you so much. And I'm going to say until next time, because we're going to get you back on here again so we can hammer through some more of these conversations. All right. Now, take care. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.